walk with a book on my head at one point. So yeah, a little
Oh
fun facts.
wow.
Yeah,
Did you ever
yeah.
do any modeling jobs? Did you use your mom's agency? No, you never
Nah,
made
nah.
it.
I had a ratty mullet, and it wasn't in my DNA. But
Okay.
I had the skills, not necessarily the talent. But all right, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see if I could blue steal it. All right, mad at the world because I'm so beautiful,
Yeah.
jawline, and like drinking a cocktail, and they're taking
Yes.
away from it. Okay.
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
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 It's like grumpy and confused, maybe a little bit aroused. I'm not quite sure what's going on.
totally, totally
Very
aroused.
sensual. Very, very sensual. I like it.
I didn't mean to be so sensual, I didn't. So
Wow. Calm
it's
down, dude.
inadvertent
That's.
talent. I know.
I
I
feel.
can't hear over all these boners in the room.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about your comedy tour. I see from what I got here, you're gonna be hitting the road here soon. The German Efficiency Tour. Why'd you name it the German Efficiency Tour?
Because I love efficiency so much, man. It's like all I love is the German. Because the German Autobahn, everything's so efficient in Germany. Then I came here. America is not efficient in so many ways. Like
Just
traffic,
sloppy.
unbelievable, sloppy. People are late. So I want to I want to bring some of that efficiency and order to America. You know what I mean? So I'm doing
Yeah.
the German efficiency tour. I have the joke. I'm doing 50 states in 1 week. I'm cruising through it. I'm doing the whole thing. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to go to small towns too. Because I've
Yeah.
been I live in LA, I've been to New York, but I kind of want to go to like rural Arkansas or something, or small towns where I can actually see the real America. Because I
Yeah.
grew up watching cowboy movies, and I see America is all about like chicken wings and guns. That's what we know about America coming from Germany, and in
Yeah.
LA it's
And you're
all
spot
kale.
on.
Yeah, but not in LA. It's all kale juices and lip fillers. So I kind of want to see. I want to educate myself and get out of the big cities and like just travel the whole US. I'm very excited.
Yeah. And this will be the first time that you actually kind of get to on the road and see this the US basically firsthand.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to some cities. I've been to Arizona before. Did a show there in Chandler. I've seen bits and pieces here and there, but this time I'm doing a full tour. So I'm also going to be driving. I'm going to do
Yeah.
a Florida dates next week. So I'm going to be driving through like from Tampa to Miami and all this stuff. So like I'm excited to see that and yeah,
Are you
have more of
being
a
really being efficient in your routing? Are you routing properly to where you're not backtracking on miles? And because again, if not, then you're not being very German, because you're talking a coast to coast tour, and there's a way to do it for sure. But you just said Tampa and then Miami, and then
yes.
I don't know. Yeah, you're kind of like crisscrossing all over the place.
No, my manager set those dates up, and he's American, so he didn't do it as efficiently as I would have done it. Also, I'll say this: that in America you can't be as efficient because in Germany we have trains. It's really cool. Like from my hometown in Alpisbach im Hochschwarzwald, I can go to like Paris in 2 hours. I can go to like Milan and so like everything is so close. I can drive to France in 20 minutes. So it's super close, and everything is so well connected here. It's if I drive for 2 hours in Germany on the Autobahn, I could be in 5 different European countries. If I drive for 2 hours in Los Angeles, I'm still in Los Angeles. It's unbelievable how literally like it's insane with the traffic here. Try going to the west side. It's So different world here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm excited for you then, because it's going to be an eye-opening experience, especially you start getting to some of those rural states kind of in the Midwest, and you kind of get a whole other experience, especially culinary experience, because some of the foods are, basic or strange throughout different parts of the country. When you come down to Southern Arizona, it's all about Mexican food, right? Much like LA.
Yeah. Sure.
But it's its own cuisine in itself, like a Sonoran style Mexican food is fantastic. First off, but basically, as far as a food tour, what would you eat in Germany while you were?
Oh my god! I mean, I like German food. Most people don't like it. Wait, so beef vegan? Are you vegan or a beef eater?
I'm a beef eater for sure. My daughter's vegan, and I do eat vegan stuff, but yeah.
Got it. So if you're vegan, Germany is not the place to be. It is absolutely everything is like beef and pork knuckle and like bratwurst. It's like very beef. It's very meat heavy for sure. But you know, it's interesting. Like in Germany, we have a lot of amazing Turkish food because we have a lot of immigrants from Turkey, so they have like an amazing cuisine. So like, it's so funny when you bring up Mexican food. I had my first taco when I was 23 years old when I was in California for the first time.
Oh,
So
really?
that's crazy to me. I never had a taco my entire life because in Germany, that taco like a street food that's like accessible and delicious. That's like a doner kebab. It's like a
Yeah.
Turkish food that we have in Germany. So that's our, you know, quote unquote Mexican food in Germany. So I never had that, but I love Mexican food. So yeah, that sounds good.
Do you
In
remember the
Arizona, but
kind
yeah,
of taco
Yeah.
that you had? What was your first taco that you had?
It was I think it was an al pastor taco in
Okay.
it
A
was such
soft
it sounds so
taco?
LA. Yes, soft taco. It was in at Coachella Music Festival in
Okay.
California. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
yeah.
actually in
Taco
LA.
drugs in it.
It's such a exactly. It was taco with some MDMA. It was great. It was an MDMA taco actually. MDMA taco.
Best taco
Al
ever.
pastor MDMA. That's right.
It's
That's
like I
right.
took a bite of that taco, then I made love to it, and then I finished the
Exactly.
taco. Yeah.
Best
Now,
experience of my life. Yeah, it was a little bitter, but you know, it's good.
yeah. What's see? Well, I was gonna ask another good-looking question. When you went to Coachella and stuff, do they automatically give you VIP passes and be like, you belong backstage with all the other beautiful people, not out with the uggos in the common area?
No, man, it's like, you know, yeah, I think you have to be a beautiful woman. I think that is even
Yeah,
more powerful. Because if you're a decently looking man, it helps you. Maybe with gay men, it helps you, you know, or with women. But I don't know.
yeah.
A lot of these people who run this stuff are like straight dudes. They're more intimidated by me than anything. So I will not. If anything, they lock me out. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure it's a common misconception that you're a gay man. I saw one of your videos where you talked about that one time you were inadvertently invited to a gay orgy. And how do you
Yeah.
smoothly get out of that situation?
You know, it's so funny because yeah, most people think I'm gay because I'm European. I think it's just a general vibe I give off. Like when I go to the gym here,
American. No, that's how Americans act. Like, where are you from? Oh yeah, you must be gay, son. You got an
yeah,
accent.
literally. Yeah, according to Americans, like the benchmark of what's considered to be gay in Europe is so much higher to what's considered to be gay here. Because in
Yeah,
America,
yeah.
like you know, you put on sunscreen, people are like, gay. It's like
Yeah.
such a different world here.
Yeah.
It's like, what is happening here? I don't know. I just wear short European soccer because my dad was a soccer player. So I wear these like short, when I first came here, I wore these like super short European soccer shorts. It's not a gay thing in Germany. It's just like what everybody, because it's like, I think it's you run better in them. I work out better. So
Yeah.
here it's like, but yeah, all of a sudden you like, you know, all these guys start hitting on me at the gym. You know, it's like a whole thing. But yeah, this gay party I went to, you saw the video. I mean, that was a crazy story. It was in New York and I was invited to this like underwear party to bartend because I was pretty broke as a model, and a lot of
Yeah.
gay men give me a lot of attention. So you know, and
And
I
tips.
love gay
Yeah.
men. I love So I went to this party and I was basically bartending the party, but I didn't know it was an underwear party which turned into like a sex party essentially.
Yeah.
So it was a weird experience, man. But you know, I can add that to my bucket list. You know, I lived life. You know, I
Absolutely.
saw different things. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're young, you do these kind of gigs and stuff. And I've been in scenarios, not necessarily like that, but where you're like, oh, I'm kind of like a fish out of water here. And this is an
Yeah.
eye-opening experience to say the least. Did you at least make a lot of tips?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I made
Yeah.
like, because, you know, at first I was like, I'm not bartending this party. I'm a professional fashion model. I came to New York to be on Calvin Klein. And then he was like, oh, I'm going to pay you $800. I was like, do you want to make mojitos? Like, what do you guys want? I was like, my morals dropped very quickly when he said $800, you know, it was like, it's a quick switch. Yeah.
Did you move to America right when you were 18?
Well, I didn't move. I came here for a second because a modeling scout messaged me on Facebook. Another
Mhm.
gay guy. He was like, "Hey, gorgeous, you should come to New York and be a model. P.S. You can stay with me at my place in Harlem." So I was like, I didn't know what Harlem was as a German. I was like, oh, Harlem, that sounds so exotic, you know? So I
Oh,
went to
no.
New York. I went to New York. No, he was cool. He connected me with my first agency, signed with them.
All right, yeah, okay, that was enough of that interview with Mario Adrian on this Man Crush Monday. That was a phrase that Manny coined, and Derek, you're muted, so unmute yourself. So I'm like, yeah, okay, there we go. Now, Man Crush Monday is definitely something that we're going to have to do here in the future on a short week. And let's see, hopefully you're feeling better here, Lindsay. Lindsay said she had a dream that she met me, and he said, yeah, you're right. You look better from far away. And I was like, the fuck? I look in the mirror and was wearing a clay face mask. You gotta love those melatonin dreams, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. So
do you remember
I'm sure you look,
ever?
huh?
Do you remember your dreams ever?
Yeah, no, I report on them. I report on them regularly when I do have vivid dreams. In fact, we actually did a bit and came up with some images based off a dream where I had a full blown roofing company called Butter My Balls Roofing, right? And there was it was like the catchphrase. It was said over and over again, like, oh, you got to get a new roof, butter my balls, and and then Rico he came up with the imaging of this dream because he got such a kick out of it. And I'll show you what it looked like. It was a whole thing. So yeah. I don't have dreams. Well, I guess I have dreams regularly, but sometimes they'll be so vivid and strange, they'll just stick with me. And I attempt to write them down, which I did with Butter My Balls. In fact, actually, I went into the dream, but you could see the image right there. Can you see it? Do I have it pulled up? Right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. So that's part of it. If I play the clip, it's real, but there's several different images that you'll see here. I'll just play it. A very odd marketing dream. Like, you ever see those local commercials for local services?
Oh yeah, love them.
Yeah. So it was basically like late night local commercial, and it was for a roofing company. The roofing company was called Butter My Balls.
Oh
yeah, it was very odd, and I remember so vividly. Not only the commercial and how the graphics were overlaid on the commercial and the kind of the over the top campiness of the commercial, but also people referring other people to this roofing company, being like, "Oh, you got a leak in your roof? You got to get the Butter My Balls guy." All dreams have a meaning, and I'm trying to wonder if this Butter My Balls roofing dream had to do with the protest of the conflict in Middle East or the COVID lockdowns and how that's affecting our children. I know it has to do with one or the other.
It's got some Freudian undertones in there for sure, but I don't think there's any dream books out there that cover the Butter My Balls or roofing guys.
Well, I know it's one serious issue or another. All I know and for sure is that it's not gay whatsoever. It is either about the Middle East conflict or it's about COVID lockdown. Rock 2.1 KFMA. It's Beef Vegan Presents. We're live here on the podcast broadcast. I got Derek joining me as well, just playing a little clip, and you just heard Disturbed. Let me play some new music from Godsmack, but let me tell you right now, this is not the opportunity to call for tickets. I've already given away my pair of tickets for Godsmack today. I will give away another pair of tickets tomorrow, though, around the 7 o'clock hour. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. Of course, Godsmack was announced to be performing at Ava Amphitheater on October 5th. So it's a big deal. And they stated that they're not going to release any more new music. And then they released new music.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Very Godsmacking like. Well, anyways, here's Truth by Godsmack on Rock 2.1 KFMA. Clear. Yeah. So I was like, it was a whole deal, actually. In fact, I talked to a couple lead singers. What was it? Reverend Horton Heat and then David Draymond and Disturbed, based off of that statement that Godsmack made, and asked them what their opinion was on it, and if they would do the same. I was basically low key, politely saying, "Stop making new music, you old fucks."
Yeah, well, that's fair. Well, we all just want to hear the classic stuff anyway.
And that was the argument, right? So that's what Godsmack said, look, man, when we put together new music, we go through this whole process, and it's a pain in the ass, and nobody cares. Everyone wants us to play our old songs. So, since we have so many great old songs, we could do an entire supersized set every single night based off our catalog. So why even put in the effort? Let's just tour and have fun. And that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be doing the hits when they come to Tucson on October 5th. Let's see, give away a 5-pack of tickets for a show. I can't do that on the air right now. I have to get approval, and Mooch was already in a mood. because of stuff that had nothing to do with me, really. But the good news is, 10, I got your text message. Yes, I will be there at the Rialto Theater on June 8th to help host. And I will reach out to Slobby Robbie too, see if he wants to do the honors with me. We'll have a good time at the Rialto for that show. That's going to be massive. And I found out because I feel like my daughter wants to go to Rocky Point, right? And as her graduation present, she wants to drink legally in a country that allows it, right? And
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I didn't necessarily know which weekend to go. And normally I go to Rocky Point during Circus Mexicus weekend, but that's like spring break for middle agers, right? And that's like June 8th weekend. And it's a good time. It's one of my favorite times, to be honest with you. It's a party. But I'm not in a financial position to go to Rocky Point twice in 1 month, unfortunately. And then we decided that the weekend that we're going to do the Rocky Point is like the June 20th weekend, like one of the last weekends of June. And that's because the Upsall family, because, I was just hanging out with Taylor and everything. They're going down to Rocky Point. And my daughter, of course, grew up with those kids as well. And so they have like a son that's same age as my daughter, who's into punk rock music, and he's bringing his girlfriend, and my daughter wants to bring her boyfriend. So this is a good way to go down and be able to let the kids go fuck off and have fun. And, me sitting around with, Mike and Lisa and but poolside having cocktails.
Dude, that sounds like an awesome time.
Yeah, dude. So if you're not doing anything that weekend,
jealous.
I'll give you details. You come down too. The more the merrier.
I don't go to Mexico.
Well, don't be a bitch.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Was that enough? Yeah. It's super fun, and it's super safe if you're not a jackass. You could have a really good time. You haven't been drinking, though, huh?
No, I
okay,
haven't drank in like 4 years, man.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm drinkers only. I'm sorry. I haven't been drinking that often, but I'm gonna be drinking in Mexico and eating a bunch of seafood and stuff, as you would. All right. So Todd says it's a trap. No, it's a good time. I'm not trying to trap you. Let's get back on the air. Rock 102.1 KFMA. There you go. The latest from Godsmack. Godsmack, of course, going to be performing October 5th over at the Amphitheater. It's a podcast broadcast. We're live, youtube.com/BeefVegan or on the BeefVegan Facebook page. And you're going to want to pull that up here in a moment because I'm going to pull up tons of crazy videos and pictures. Like, have you ever seen what an ultra rare spider twin looks like?
No, an ultra rare spider twin.
Spider twin. This is apparently a thing. It's a very rare thing, one in like 2 million, which I don't think is rare enough, to be honest with you, after you see these pictures. But a spider twin is conjoined twins, right? That have 4 arms and 3 legs, and they share. In this case, they were brothers. And they share a penis and like all the abdominal tracts. And this is gonna haunt your nightmares.
Oh, this is a person?
This is a kid. What a spider twin looks like. Here, I'm gonna show it to you real quick. So fair warning, and my apologies ahead of time. Are you ready? This is a spider twin.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, this is not necessarily a bad news story. Doctors are looking to try to make their life as comfortable as possible, but this is a thing. What they had to do is they had to remove one of the legs, and essentially imagine this grown person that has 2 heads, 4 arms, and a pair of legs. This is like a character out of Mortal Kombat. This is a real thing that happens. And then doctors had to figure out a way to not only get these kids to be able to sit upright and live a somewhat normal life, but then to figure out if there's a way to separate them. And the good news is there's a lot of cases where this happens where they can do that. The bad news is it doesn't look like this is going to be one of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, togetherness.
Yeah, this is brutal, right? So I want to do a palate cleanser on that as we're looking at images here. But the spider twin was something I just had to show you, Derek, because I was just like, what in the F is this? Now there's a legal battle going on right now in San Diego. You ever been out to San Diego in the summertime?
Oh yeah, I love it out there.
Yeah, and if you ever go to San Diego, you're going to notice something. If you go to the beaches or the parks, you will notice this at pretty much every beach or every park, and it is people doing yoga. Yoga beachside in San Diego is like the thing, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's park rangers at war with people on the beach doing yoga, and they're attempting to shut it down completely for whatever reasons. And they're talking about permitting, and it's obviously a very popular activity that a lot of people get together to enjoy the beautiful weather and outdoors of San Diego, and also be healthy. The kicker on this is, as I'm looking through this story, I'm seeing a picture, and the very first picture of these park rangers basically trying to ruin this good time looks like this, Derek. And if you notice, and this is very unfortunate because it's always the people that need yoga the most that shut down yoga, right? So you got park rangers who literally have a front butt hanging out the bottom of their shirt. They're so fat that their police uniform looks like a midriff, and you have like a front butt crack. And this is the man that has to go out to all these people who are attempting to have a healthy mind, body, and soul, and tell them to shut down their yoga.
Yeah, he's rocking the full Dunlap there. His belly Dunlap over his belt.
Yes. And you can see the crack and everything. I feel so bad because I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, well, if anyone could benefit from yoga, it's literally the 3 park rangers here telling them to stop doing yoga.
They should give it to them free, and then maybe they'll let them stay.
Maybe. Yeah. And before we get into viral videos on the podcast broadcast, I do want to talk about this top story, and I'll try to find some viral videos to go along with this. But you may have seen videos going around about a man who hadn't seen his family in 27 years.
Well,
that's a long time, right? And so he was showing up to families' houses, and and his family were caught on tape celebrating and reacting in shock, as you would if you haven't seen a loved one in 27 years. And initially I saw these videos, I didn't necessarily know the backstory of this. The backstory is even mind-blowing though. See, what happened about 27 years ago, a man named Omar bin Omran disappeared around India, right? And his family thought that he'd been killed in the civil war that had been raging for a decade in that country's government and various Islamic rebel groups. But it turns out the truth was less than 200 meters away from the family's home. Omar, who is now 45 years old, was found alive in what appeared to be a hole in the ground beneath what was described as a sheep pen within the home of his alleged captor, a 61-year-old neighbor who is now in police custody. So this man was kidnapped 27 years ago, held captive in a makeshift basement underneath the home, only 200 meters from the family's home, for 27 years until he finally was able to escape.
Goodness, that's full on like Silence of the Lambs. Like it puts the lotion on its skin.
Yes.
It's down in a hole. My goodness, for 27 years though.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's still no word as to what the motive was, what happened during that. I'm sure the stories will come out, and that's what makes these stories or the videos of him reuniting with his family even extra feel good. And you will see those videos circulating because they have gone viral, but really only with the headline, man reunites a family after 27 years. And that's it. And not even talking about the horrors that this dude had to endure for 27 years, 200 meters away from his family's home. Like what? Like he reunited with his family just by walking a block down the street.
It's extraordinary, man.
Yes, it is. All right. Well, let's keep this conversation moving on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. Yeah, let's see if I can pull up some of this video here. As we make fun of fat cops.
Hey. Well,
hey, yeah, you're not fat anymore.
And yeah, man, Ozempic and stuff, they got good health benefits.
Have you been doing Ozempic?
No.
Did
it all on my own with the guidance of my doctor.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at, let's see, they don't have the video here. The neighbor of the man abducted told, and I said India, but that's only because I didn't know exactly where it's from. It's obviously in the Middle East somewhere. said his poor mom died while he was in captivity and without knowing what happened to him. This whole thing is crazy.
Yeah. Well,
hot take.
How, like, 27 years in a hole? Like, he had to have, like, let him out of the hole, right?
Nope. No, because you let him out of the hole, and you know what happens. He
runs
he
200
walks.
meters down the road.
Yeah, dude, he's super close. Super close. Yeah. Did you see the Netflix documentary on Ashley Madison over the weekend?
No, I'm saving that for tonight.
Oh,
actually.
well, if you do, you'll probably run straight to Ashley Madison and sign up for an account. Even though in the documentary they showcase how there was a data breach and all that information was leaked to the general public, which outed a lot of potential cheaters. And I say potential cheaters because websites like Ashley Madison are like 90% men, right? And the women on there, most of them are like faking to be women. It's like a whole big ruse because surprise, surprise, there's not too many women out there who are secretly trying to have affairs with married guys, right?
Not so much a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a male dominated fetish, if you will. So this 3 episode docuseries, Ashley Madison's Sex Lies and Scandal, has resulted in a membership boost for the dating service for those looking to cheat. So, and they didn't learn from this documentary. They essentially were inspired to be like, oh, it's that easy, huh? But again, nothing in this documentary really highlights successful cheating stories. You know, there is no one saying, "Yeah, I had a fantastic affairs. Thank you, Ashley Madison." You know, like none of those at all.
It's like watching Friday the 13th and be like, you know what I want to do? I'm going to sign up for that summer camp in that movie.
Yeah, dude.
Watched.
Yeah, Camp Crystal Lake seems beautiful this time of year. Yeah, that's exactly what it is because the documentary deals with the cyber attack that happened to him. So not only did it not show anyone successfully cheating, but it also showed how their security system was kind of flawed. And it really led to all of their users being victims of the site. But they say there's no such thing as bad publicity because even with this bad publicity, Ashley Madison membership shot through the roof over the weekend.
Hey, everybody wants to get laid, man.
I mean, yes, absolutely. That's a fact. But at the same time, I guess they missed the point. They're just browsing through and got horny while learning about cybersecurity issues.
Hey,
men are so stupid, dude.
It makes you do stupid things.
Yes. Let's see what Manny said. Beach yoga is known to the state of California to cause cancer. Dave said, I had a weird dream about pregnant African American midget stripper, little person. If you're going to be PC about African American, you also have to say little person.
So close.
You were that close, Dave. You were that close. See, I will be fined for sharing that comment.
I should have specified on your dream thing. Do you have dreams about your streamers? Because you got streamers just had a dream about you.
Oh yeah. Totally. Orgy streams. It's amazing. It boosts our subscribers too. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
I apologize. I've called the wrong number.
Oh, you're cool. Who are you trying to call? Ghostbusters? Yeah. It was like not a local number either, so it happens. Maybe I should have answered it like Beast Medical Asylum.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. You that Medicare, Medicaid.
Right. But yeah, no, I never had like dreams about streamers. I guess I had dreams. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I do write them down. Let me look through my notes. Let's do a peek into my mind. So what I like to try to do here is whenever I have like an idea or something, I'll try to jot it down so I don't like forget. And because inspiration hits at different times, right?
Right.
In fact, actually, there's various. There was a list of various forms of creative consciousness and how to create that. The takeaway was get enough sleep. You want to sleep as much as possible to kind of re-energize your brain. But there are ways to kind of like stimulate the creativity while you're awake. And I'll break that down for you here real quick.
I'm doing it all wrong. I'm getting like no sleep and just like doing all the wrong things?
Here's what they say. There's our brains have 5 brain waves related to 5 mental slates. Okay. And there's delta, which is deep sleep, theta, theta, deeply relaxed. There's alpha, which is relaxed. There's beta, which is alert and focused and bitch made. And then gamma, which is high performance. Okay. So let's say deep sleep for delta, nothing restores our mental, physical, and emotional states more than sleep. And delta waves are also crucial for physical healing and immune support, which is why, like, if you get sick, you want to, get rest because it boosts your immunity and helps you, physically fight back. Also, because of it, we are sharper critical thinkers, more creative, and higher performers when we're in deep sleep. So delta brainwaves are the slowest, and young children reach a deep sleep state more consistently than adults. All right.
Dude,
Let's
I've been
see.
tracking that crazy with my Fitbit lately. I never tracked my sleep stuff before, and yeah, I've been doing horrible lately. Although when I was ill, I did pretty decent. I guess my body was like, "Guess what you're doing?"
And what are you doing when your body tells you?
Get more sleep. Yeah. So
Nice.
I guess science.
Huh. So you're basically seeing that you're not getting the deep sleep is causing you to sleep more.
It did when I was ill at the end of the week. There, that I somehow got from you through the internet.
Yeah, that's why Derek didn't join us on Fridays or whatever. Tomorrow we're gonna have Rico and Mari in studio, and then I'm also gonna be doubling up the tap outs. So Rocco's tomorrow, and then we're gonna have Thunder Bacon Burger Company. I'm hoping on Wednesday, if the lawyers approve it in time. That's a whole nother thing, which is pissing off Mucho for whatever reason. But let's get back on the air. I got mystery money in Ohio. I got a couple stories about this. It's crazy. Rock 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Let me tell you a story that's happening in Ohio that's basically mystifying the residents there locally and also making everybody search random bathrooms for cash money. Yeah, there's a lot of money being found in random bathrooms all over Ohio. There's been several stories of this happening. In fact, actually, so Mr. Cash has been stashed in multiple locations in Marysville, Ohio, and more than $20,000 was found in the bathroom at the Avalon Theater last weekend. And then the Thursday night before that, over $10,000 was found in the bathroom of a Kentucky Fried Chicken location in that area. Please say that over $40,000 has been found so far in total in each location. The money was hidden in a way that you'd have to know where to look in order to find it. And at this point, it's believed that all the discoveries are connected, but it's not clear how just yet. And what a fun mystery that's happening in Ohio right now, right?
Yeah, that's definitely dead drops or something like Manny said for sure. That's woohoo. But who's finding them? The cops are finding them, or people get to find them?
Well, you know what? And these are 2 instances where somebody found it and reported it to authorities. I do not believe that every incident is going to be reported, especially if you're in a bathroom and you stumble across a large sum of money. Would you tell anybody?
I don't know. If I stumble across 20 grand in the bathroom, I don't know if I'm like, hey, I should tell somebody about this.
I'll tell you what you do. Well, you don't take all of it, So, and then that way, say, okay, it's a scenario. We've seen movies, right? Where, okay, this money is, say it's tied to some nefarious organization that will hunt you down, right? Nobody wants to be hunted down just because they came across free money and couldn't resist kind of helping themselves out. So what you do is you take a percentage of that money, not a large percentage, but take a good amount. So if you find $20,000 in like a bathroom stall, take $5,000, right? Don't tell anybody and just walk out. And that way, whenever the gang or whoever's responsible for the money comes to find the money, they're going to see that the money's there where it was said and see that it's $5,000 short, and they won't assume that somebody found the money and just took $5,000. They'll assume they were shorted by whoever was supposed to give the money. So then that's on them.
It's brilliant. That's
right?
an extra beef tip right there.
Yeah. So they're not going to come after you. They're going to come after the people who dropped the money in the first place and say like, oh, you're trying to rip me off $5,000. Now, of course, maybe your conscience may weigh heavy on that. So may I suggest you buy yourself something nice with that free money? It will help.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So, yeah, this happens. Police say the cash was hidden in both cases. And the KFC, the money was banded up inside the tanks of several toilets. Okay, so basically, the jackpot upper decker. All right. Now, both stashes of money were found by employees of those businesses. Naturally, the cops believe the cases are connected, and it's also unclear if any other bathroom cash has been discovered. But I will say this, another just little tip of advice: if you go to a public restroom today, definitely lift up the tank. Just take a peek inside. Just make sure nothing's hidden in there. You never know. Nobody ever looks in those. And that could be the drop spot for many people.
The more you know.
Yeah. Now, of course, I can't wait for the inevitable true crime adaptation flush with cash. That's going to be nice. Or Lottery Lou, if it was going to be in the UK on the BBC. There's just a couple different documentaries that may highlight this mystery that is still developing. So if they find any more money in the crapper in Ohio, you'll hear it here first. I will report it instantly. Let's hit the reset on the FM side. We'll keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. What would you name it?
I want to yeah, Lottery Lou. I like that. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to know what it really is. And that's a brilliant idea now. And I never thought I'm going to just start lifting lids every bathroom I use from now on.
Yeah. And Ward says, same story if you find drugs. Yeah, I mean, depending on the drugs, I wouldn't mess with any of it. You can't mess with powder nowadays because you never know if it's fentanyl. Swisky says, I'm taking all of it. Fuck that. All right. Just saying, they won't track you down if you only take a little bit. They're only going to go back to the person who made the drop in the first place. So that way, if the best way to not be a suspect is for them not to have any suspects, not have to investigate, but if they go in.
You don't want to get all No Country for Old Man, where you got dude coming after you with the cow hitter thing. And, you got to get his bag back.
Right. Yeah, I know. So you never been to Rocky Point, right?
No, I only been to Nogales and Tijuana.
Well, if you've been to Nogales and Tijuana, then Rocky Point's a safer location in Tijuana.
I understand that. It's not about safety.
What's it about?
Dumb stuff when I go down there, so I don't go down there no more.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, if you don't trust yourself, then you may be right.
Yes.
All right, so I'll read you some of my notes. We were talking about deep sleep before. So here's just some random things. The Butter My Balls roofing, I basically just had a dream of a roofing company called Butter My Balls. I need to fix your roof, call the Butter My Balls guy. I wrote that literally 4:25 in the morning. I wake up, it's still on my mind, and that's what I jot down and then talked about it later. Right.
Were you sleeping with the TV on?
No, in fact, I can't, but I do listen to audio podcasts if I need to fall asleep, so I don't think. So yeah, okay. Tweaker Neighbor Security is the name of this one. And then it said, having neighbors with a sketchy backyard means nobody is going to go into my backyard. That's it. That's a note.
I just thought you meant having tweakers up just wandering around the neighborhood. You'd be.
No, well,
basically.
So I wrote this note down and I brought it up. Maybe it was a speed break, no pun intended. But my backyard neighbors, right, that are connected to my backyard, the whole backyard looks like a junker, right? There's just a whole bunch. There's cars and trash, miscellaneous dogs, and it's like and they're always working at weird hours of the night, and it's odd, right? But at the same time, I'm like, well, this almost guarantees that nobody's going to go into my backyard because I have witnesses up at odd hours of the night, and they just know, stay away from those crackheads. Those crackheads happen to be my backyard neighbors, but in an odd way, I feel reassured that that's the security system I didn't pay for.
It could work, or they could steal all your copper. because there's a hole in your fence.
Yeah. Speaking of that, that's been happening a lot in California with Tesla charging stations.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
can see it.
it's a big problem in California. Those tweakers, they love their copper. And I think you get like something like $3 a I don't want to say $3 a pound because it didn't seem like much, but yeah, like every single one of those car like charging stations, once tweakers figured out there's copper in them, are getting hit up and just stripped. So
Man,
Tesla's got to figure something out quick as far as not using copper or anything that has any resale value that a tweaker will definitely take. Let's see, debunk rumor segment each week. Make a bunch of ridiculous rumors about everything and ask each other if they're true. Make them burns. Absurdist comedy type of setups than denials. I see.
I could see how that could work. Although,
Nah,
hurt my feelings.
as I'm going through, you have the best Tijuana story here, Gary. Why don't you give me I'll send you an email right now. Tell me that Tijuana story.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'll try to. Yeah.
I love the stories, and I want to go to Rocky Point. Someday I will. I'm gonna have a passport next time I go, though.
I'm gonna try to find. Try to remember some of my favorite Rocky Point stories. I've had many. Obviously, I've been going there since I was 16. Doing spring breaks and having those celebrations. And there was time in the 90s that and early 2000s where it was like peak like chaos, and it's starting to come back. But man, the debauchery and the insanity and just constant partying all over there was a really good time. And like I said, I've mentioned this story a lot, but there was a couple summers of songs, like when the Thong song came out, and it was the summer of the Thong song. That was probably one of my favorite spring breaks as a young teenage boy because that song was played everywhere you went, and every time it was played, girls instantly just pulled down their pants and shook their thongs.
Nice. I mean,
yeah, dude.
Something less creepy.
As a young teenager, whatever. It was amazing. Yeah, it was like Disneyland. Yeah.
Dude.
So many butts. I mean, that's where I learned about anatomy. Was that summer. All right, Gary, I did send you an invite if you want to jump in. But if you're busy, I understand. Dave said last time I was in Mexico, I thought I was asking for a Jack and Coke. Apparently my Spanish was wrong, and I asked for cocaine. Bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard Rocky Point's a lot like San Diego, but like better and cheaper.
Yes.
So
I agree. Hell, dude, this is maybe how I don't know, like how much I love Rocky Point. When I went to Hawaii, I went to Maui for the first time and only time, really. Like I couldn't help but think about how Rocky Point was better in ways. And I'm talking about Hawaii, I mean, now obviously Hawaii has perfect weather year round, depends on when you go. But I've been to Rocky Point during times when the weather was ideal, the water was warm, beautiful, and chill, and just where I was at. And of course, it was just a lot cheaper. So, maybe if I had unlimited resources, I'd enjoy it better. But I couldn't, get a bottle of water without my asshole clenching up, being like, I'm never going to financially recover from this over and over again.
Yeah.
And then plus, the flight was just so long,
Sandra's parents just got back from Hawaii, and I'm like, that's a trip I'm never doing. Shoo. Like, I can't afford to go to Rocky Point, so whatever.
I don't know. I mean, you guys both work and stuff. Now the kids are out of the house. So, what did you give your kids for graduation, by the way?
Oh, man. Brad, I gave him the pickup, the F-150.
Okay, so you gave him a car. That's nice.
It was his birthday graduation thing. But now he's giving it back to me and taking my Touareg.
Why?
Because it has air conditioning and the truck's AC broke.
Oh,
nice kid spoiled, dude.
All right.
So yeah.
So would you suggest I do the same thing for my daughter as give her my car? I don't have a second car. Though.
I say that would no. That
okay, good.
I have junk cars, so I'm able to do that. So I for Anna gave I think it was just cash, dude.
Yeah. Well, cash is king always, so I talked about in a show open. Sorry, hold on. I talked about in the show open that this weekend I went to Build-A-Bear. It was the latest, and then got hair dye and everything else. But Build-A-Bear to build a graduation bear for my daughter, and I'm like, hey, you're graduating high school, not fucking preschool. What are we doing at Build-A-Bear? $60 for a graduation bunny, and I'm like, oh my god, and just one thing after another, dude. We had vegan dinner as a celebration for Friday night. Had that. That was fun. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep on spending money. Let's see. Lindsay said, I've been going to Rocky Point my whole life. It's changed so much. A lot more paved roads, less vendors on the beach. Also, Manny's Beach Club RV, and yeah, the Manny's has been supersized, and that's a nice place. Manny's used to be the destination before Choya Bay blew up, but then new owners, Arizona owners came in, Americanized it even more so, and also added a pool and a stage, and they have like mini festivals there. So big fan of Manny's and downtown and the fish market. So all that. And it's great. I tell people too, because everyone usually who've never been to Rocky Point, they all have the same kind of stereotypical fears of Mexico, right? And like you don't understand how much they covet tourism money. That whole city is literally funded by tourism, and they need that money, so they protect their tourists, and that includes the cartel because they have invested interest in that area and all those different resorts and everything. They know that if there's violence, it scares away Americans. That not only will the community suffer, but their bottom line suffers. Right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had this experience because not just 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, Rocky Point was dead. It had a series of bad publicity, and people stopped going down there. And it took years to get people back. Now, finally comfortable going back there again. But once you go to the border, Lukeville, then you make it through a small little town, and then you go on what is a no hassle highway. It's just a straight shot where no federales, no one's bothering you, and you go straight into Rocky Point.
Okay.
Done. So you're literally border to a highway to Rocky Point, and then you're on the beach. Let's go in the air. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA Speaking presents, trying to convince my good friend Derek not to be afraid of Rocky Point.
I'm not afraid of Rocky Point.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's intimidating, I guess. I'm not a super partier, I guess. So
right.
I wanna watch. I want to go, but I am scared. I am scared.
All right. So yeah, you don't have to be scared. So like I was saying, not only is there like a straight shot from the border into Rocky Point there, when you're on the Choya Bay side where all the resorts are, you're talking as safe and as Americanized as possible, right? All of those resorts there, it's basically San Diego but cheaper, right? And then when you're in town, you have all the vendors. Everyone there is excited that you're there because you are their economy, right? And they appreciate it. You can't come across some nicer people in the world than the residents of Rocky Point. Legitimately, super nice people. And of course, yeah, you got the hustle and bustle. And if say you're not going down there to drink, and I'm acting like Rocky Point's ambassador, but I'm telling you, I've loved this town for the majority of my life now. It's crazy to think I've been going down there since I was 16 years old. And so many good times and blackouts. But say you're not going to go down there and drink, right? Then what can you experience while you're down there? Well, not only the beach and the warm water that's way warmer than the Pacific Ocean, where you're freezing your testes off whenever you dip your toe in. Like it's like pool water in the Baja, right? Then of course you have all these amenities. You could rent ATVs and razors and go romping along the dunes, because all the seafood that is coming into that area, you go down to the fish market and not only have like fantastically fresh seafood, but all the different vendors there. The most fun part for me And I made this something that my daughter thoroughly enjoys. So much so that at an early age, I had to give her the example, the differences between, shopping in Mexico and shopping at, like, say, Circle K. It's the art of the haggle, right? Everything's up for negotiation. You're always trying to work out a good deal. So, going a little back and forth to try to find the ultimate price to buy some keepsakes is a really fun activity. And I taught my daughter how to do this well. But then, she'd be at Circle K and I'd give her money to go buy some candy. And the clerk would say, yeah, it's $2. And she's like, how about $1? You can't necessarily do that here. But in Mexico, you absolutely can. So, those are a couple things that you could do even without drinking. So you don't necessarily need to drink to have a good time. You lay out, get some water, get some sun, eat a bunch of food, and do some shopping.
You caught me. I was just being scared. I was making excuses, and you sold me. I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, untuck it, whip it out, and let's go down to Rocky Point. Woo! This segment paid for you by the Friends of Rocky Point. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a sponsored segment. Let's keep the conversation moving on the podcast. We'll be back with your beef tip after these words. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Now, of course, people have had bad times at Rocky Point, but a lot of times it's because they put themselves in that situation. Like, I have a friend named Roach who kept getting pulled over and ended up going to jail a couple times because he couldn't stop being a jackass who was just like, I could be a drunken fool and do whatever the fuck I want. And it's like, no, that is not the case. Have some respect for the community and stuff. So, but I'll tell you what, renting those, like, I'll go down there and I'll rent like a Razor and go off-roading on the dunes and stuff and romp around. What I'd like to do sometimes, and maybe I'll do that this time. It's so fun. I've done this many trips, is I'll rent a car because I don't want to take my car down there. Now, you're not supposed to necessarily take rental cars to Mexico, but you can. And they're insured if you pay for the insurance. And I always do because I know I'm going to fuck these rental cars up. So I'll rent a car for the weekend, tell them I'm going to San Diego, then go down to Rocky Point and it's fully insured. And then I drive like balls to the wall. Like, I'm just like romping, like basically how I drove and I was going to desert parties in high school. I tap back into that and I go off-roading in whatever car I got. I'm hitting speed bumps at a high rate just to get some lift, like having a good time. The only goal is to make it back safely across the border, but the rest of it is to, do fishtails, romp, have a good time.
Wow. So you're driving it like you stole it, the rental car then?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And, with the amount of damage I put on those, long-term damage, not short-term damage, it is a steal that I, get it for like $150. It's fantastic. And honestly, like once I did that a few times, I had other friends be like, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. Like, yeah, I have a car I could take down there. It's no problem. It has great air conditioning and everything. But, I'm worried about my car sometimes. I have zero worries about a rental.
That's absolutely correct. I didn't. Don't you have to do special insurance down there too, though?
Well, they encourage it,
Yeah.
but you don't necessarily have to.
So I would have to do a rental car.
Well, that's part of the experience, dude. It's part of the fun. If you get a rental, because like that feeling of driving like a new car, it's a fun feeling, right?
Yes.
And so, like that was a great way for me to be able to have that feeling more frequently, just for like 4 or 5 days, right? And then go back with no concerns or whatever, and then return the car and then hop back in my hoopty. I strongly encourage it.
Yeah, you get to feel all baller for the weekend on the beach.
Yes.
Location, new car, smell.
Yes. Yeah, and just have a blast. And I was all about it. And it's too fun. Did I play the middle? I guess I did. I didn't play Bush.
You did what with Bush now?
I didn't play Bush.
Oh.
So, all right, yeah. But so I'll be down there June 20th weekend.
Oh, man.
What?
See, do you have a passport? Because I feel like I need.
But it expired. You don't. And that's another misconception where there's been times, plenty of times, I'll be bringing down my daughter with me. She won't have a passport, but she'll have her, her identification card and a birth certificate that I'll show to get across. And I've brought people across who literally had zero identification. They were just super gringo. In fact, my buddy Danny, who we've met on the podcast before, after a weekend of getting way too fucked up, like he was on like too much Molly and was like a zombie, and couldn't even communicate, and he lost his wallet, lost his shoes, everything, right? And so I was taking him across the border with my friend Alexis and him. And so I go up, I get my passport. Now my passport's expired, but it doesn't matter. It's still a passport, and they're just like, boom, it still logs the information they need, and it's not international travel, so they don't care. I mean, it's not, I'm saying
real international travel.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's still North America, but it's not traveling to a different continent. Intercontinental. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I go through, I give my little passport. Alexis, they're like, you got your passport? And she hands him the paperwork that she started to fill out for the passport, but didn't finish. So she's like, well, here's paperwork I was starting. Alexis, not Alexa. And so they're just like, okay. And then they go to the back, like, what about you? To Danny? And he's like, and I'm like, yeah, he lost his wallet. And they like look at him, and he's almost like drooling. They could tell he's just fucking out of it, but he's also a ginger. And they're just like, all right, get out of here, guys. Just go. And I'm like, all right, thank you. Have a nice day. And that was that. So every time I go down there, I'm usually going down there with somebody who doesn't have a passport. Good morning, Anthony. Good to see you on the stream. Better late than never.
For sure. Yeah, like the last time I went down there, I had a trouble getting back because it didn't have proper identification, which is why I don't go down there. But when I have a passport, I might go down there. So,
well, get a passport in Tucson. You can get in less than 24 hours. They got the turnaround.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah,
but go down there anyway.
Yeah, there you go. And then while you're here, you could be in studio, do a little bit of radio from the studio. You've been in a studio here before, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. At the very beginning, but you haven't been during this new setup.
No.
Yeah.
I haven't been down there in like two years.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to see the new setup while it lasts. I mean, this week supposedly, we will have a contract offer. We'll see. I'll tell you an awkward moment though. That happened on Friday after the show. I was talking with Crystal, and she's asking me what's going on with this, and I'm kind of venting, as I do, talking about the salespeople, how they don't know how to sell the station or the show, which I stand by. But unfortunately, me, when I tell stories, I get very passionate and I'm kind of yelling it. And then while I'm basically talking shit about the sales staff, my GM comes into the studio, and I can't see her because she's behind the banner. And she has, this is the sweetest thing ever. And I felt like an instant asshole. She has a graduation card for my daughter.
Oh,
yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's so sweet. And I'm just like, fuck me, man. I'm like, and I wasn't bagging on her. I was bagging on the sales staff, but she, of course, is their boss too. And the point is, we got to get these salespeople, we got to hire more salespeople, but we got to get them trained up so they know what they're selling here. I mean, first off, they got to know my name, and how to pronounce my name. That was an issue as of like 2 weeks ago, which was insane. So, I do have a reason to be upset, but it was just very bad timing. So she's coming in to do something super kind, and I'm just like, oh yeah. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, and I don't.
It's flamethrower.
Yeah, I know. I'm my own worst enemy. I'm just a moron.
Hey.
All right, let's wrap things up. Rockwell 2.1 KFMAS Beef Vegan presents. I'll leave you with a beef tip. Don't stick your foot in your mouth when you're that's it. That's it. Just say, all right. Yeah, don't be your own worst enemy. Do as I say, not as I do. Tomorrow morning, we're going to give away Godsmack tickets. Rico Mars is going to be in studio, and we're going to do Tap Out with Rocco. Coming up next, Robin Nash will have a big ticket item that I know that you're going to want. So keep listening here for your opportunity to win tickets, and that she will announce right after these words and songs. But till then, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish
upon
a side of beef,
fancy.
soon will come and
On
do all
point.
your grief.
Travel passport card, not an actual passport.
Mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.
You can get one here, dude. Todd, I'll explain more tomorrow. Yes. In Tucson. Tucson's the only place in the country. Oh, well, I think there's one other place that you can get a passport quicker than anywhere else. And it's only for whatever reason.
So like an embassy or something?
No, they got passport things. In fact, let me pull up the Google here as we share a screen here. That's before I wrap things up on this podcast. Obviously, we're going a little bit over, just so I could stick it to Todd, man. All right. Now you're right about a lot of things, Todd. This is not one of them. All right. And if you got my back here, let's see. I'm going to say same day passport Tucson.
It popped up there.
You goddamn right it did. So here's people ask, can I get same day passport in Tucson, Arizona? If you're looking for a new passport renewal in Tucson, Arizona, Ambassador Passport and Visa Services, we can process your expedited U.S. passport in as little as 24 hours or even the same day, no matter where you're located at. So people, I mean, I know I had to get a same day passport when I was living in Phoenix years ago, and it's something that they still do. So, yeah,
man.
Hey, Sarah, good to see you. Yeah. So let's see. What's the quickest I can get a passport? Now, routinely 6 to 8 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks, but not in Tucson, and you can renew it. Can I get a passport in Arizona fast? Absolutely. So it's the only place in the country.
Super good to know. Now,
Yes.
if I can just stop procrastinating and getting the damn picture done.
Exactly. And not be afraid of Mexico.
I'm such a chicken.
What's that in Spanish? You're gonna have to learn that too.
Pollo.
A pollo, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a punacha pollo. That's a pussy chicken. All right, that's all the time we have. Thanks, guys. Later.